Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Calvin, and today we're going wolf hunting. Actually, tonight I'm going wolf baiting. It's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I got about 2 hours left of light still, and I'm gonna make my way out to the woods, set up my wolf bait, bring my skidoo back out to the truck, and then hike back in to sit in my wolf shack overnight, and hopefully, if all goes well, crack a wolf at first light. But let's get to it. All right, guys, we're on the road. It's February 18th. I got about another 5 kilometers to go before I hit the truck park, offload the sled, and then bring on that bait out to the bait site. My wolf shack is about a kilometer, maybe kilometer and a half on in from where I parked the truck, so I'll probably be hiking on in when it's after dark, and hopefully we don't bounce any wolves. I'm having a real hard time this season just because right now we're sitting at minus 4 degrees Celsius. Yesterday we hit a high of plus 6, so it's really weird for February 18th, and just 2 weeks ago we were like minus 30 degrees Celsius. And the reason I mention that is when I bring the bait out here, usually it's frozen solid, and it gives me a better opportunity to come out here to hunt the next few days without it being just completely destroyed or taken apart by the wolves, the coyotes, all the critters, the birds too. And by coming in at this time, it's just after 5 o'clock right now, the birds are probably going to be already packed up for the night. So all this bait that I'm bringing on out is going to be just for the wolves and whatever comes on by tonight. If I get any wolves in the area, I'll try to take some videos of them, but it'll be pretty hard probably without any flash. So I don't want to give up where I'm at in my shack, and I don't think we're going to have a clear night tonight. It looks like there's some cloud coverage, and I don't think we're supposed to have a full moon. So it might be pretty tricky to see the wolves at the bait site tonight, but if they're kicking around in the morning, we'll definitely get them on camera. All right, guys, it's around 5:45. I've stocked the bait pile. My shack's about 105 yards away, so it's still pretty close. There's my shooting window. So now all I gotta do is head back to the truck, switch into my hunting gear, and hike on back. All right, let the hunt begin, but only for a few minutes. I'm on my way to the wolf shack right now, and I gotta get there to put the gun away. I'm not hunting overnight here in Ontario. It's not legal to do so, so I got a gun lock with me, I got a sock, and I'm gonna take the ammo out. At 6:48 tomorrow morning, I can bust out the gun, and with any luck, we'll have that wolf in front of us. But I got a few more minutes to make it to the shack. I got maybe another 800 yards to go, so I'm gonna be real quiet sneaking on in, and we'll catch you there. Alright guys, welcome to the Chateau Laurier. We got the gear hanging from the ceiling, and we got 30 pounds of propane. We got some snacks for tonight and tomorrow morning. We got the buddy heater just pumping. Right now it's around 12:30. I've been in stand for about 18 hours. We haven't had any luck at the wolf shack yet. It's a really nice sunny day, and I'm not expecting the wolves to come on back until later on tonight. I'm thinking the wolves probably know I'm in the area. Last night we had a pack come in around 2 a.m. They were probably within 150 to 200 yards.
They started up and they made quite the ruckus for about 5 minutes. Afterwards, we had a few solo howls between 4 and 6 a.m. and then it shut down after that. I don't have cell service out here, so I can't tell if they've hit my tree cameras, but from my eyes here, I don't think they hit the bait site whatsoever. We had about an inch and a half of snow last night, sleet, all that type of stuff, and looking at the bait, it looks like it hasn't been touched whatsoever, so there's no tracks going to or from it. So, we'll see what this season turns out. We're still in the midst of hunting season, but we're also in the midst of breeding season. So these wolves, coyotes, and these hybrids got more than just food on the mind right now. And I'm thinking that's probably distracting them at the same time. But until then, I'm going to stay here until dark. And hopefully we can see some wolves. If not, I'm going to, let's say, instead of filming the rest of this hunt, day to day, I'm just going to bring you along for the wolf action from this point forward.
Alright, so this morning turned into a total gong show. It's 8:30 right now and I'm just about to leave the truck to start hiking on into the wolf blind. I've been out there, I've set up the bait, but everything went downhill when I started to do the battery swap on the 2 cell cameras. My cameras are in metal lock boxes, so the locks are metal, the cases are metal, the batteries are metal, and in order to do that type of battery swap, I got to take my gloves off and work with my bare hands. So working in the dark definitely poses its own challenges, but with my neuropathy that I have post-chemo, that definitely kicked my butt. So it slows me down. It's super painful in the fingertips. I lose dexterity. I can't use my hands the way that I used to before. And my feet are definitely talking this morning as well. So afterwards, it didn't improve. I was hoping it was going to get better as I kept going back and forth to bring in bait. I did, I think, 5 or 6 full trips of bait, and we put on about 22 kilometers on the Skidoo. The handlebar heaters didn't do anything. So right now I am suited up. We're going to make our way back in there. If I see a wolf today, fantastic. The big thing was to bring out the bait in the middle of the night, throw off their feeding schedule, and hopefully they're going to be coming on back later on today. If not, I'll be back out here tomorrow. I'm not going to spend the night out here tonight. I'm just too beat up already. I'm not really motivated to stay in the shack for 24 hours, but you never know.
So this is what my day is going to look like. I'm seated next to a window in a collapsible chair. On either side of me, I have a collapsible table, and I have the buddy heater by my feet. It's cranked and running off of 2 10-pound propane tanks. I'm running a 6-foot line off it to give me a little bit more flexibility in the shack. I've decided to hang a cargo net just to keep my gear, my mitts, my hats, toques, stuff like that dry and warm. Obviously you can see the different types of camera systems that I'm running in here. Now, behind me, I've decided to hang out my coat and my backpack. It's warm enough in here where I could just be in a sweater with no problem. For my backpack, I'm still using the Stalker 500 Pro by Kuiu, and it's probably my favorite backpack since. So it just forces me to pack really light and be smart when I start to do these type of vlogs. This year, just to sneak on in here since I'm not going too far and it's pretty cold, I'm still using their proximity line, and it's a late season whitetail suit, but I like to use it for wolves too when I'm coming on in if I don't have too far to go. But a lot of their gear is like hunt specific.
So the challenge is with my fingers don't work like they used to before chemo. I have a hard time gripping anything. Anything super fine I struggle with. So it makes a hard time writing and doing anything that I have to tie. So as you can imagine, when my hands get cold, it's pretty rough, but it's the way she goes. Wolf trail has been packed down right beside the tree. So this came in after I set up the camera, and this tree's got a whole bunch of piss on it. So we're just gonna switch that to on, lock it up, and wait for our videos to come on in. Here's one of the trails that the wolves are using to access my bait site. I got a river over that way, and this way it wraps around. So I got my bait pile there. The wind's blowing this way predominantly, so the wolves are catching that scent and coming on up. But I got wolf trails all over. There's another one. We got another one up. I got a cell camera up on that tree over there. I'm getting some cool shots of wolves. There's another one. So far it's working pretty good. I'm excited to see what's turning out. There's another wolf trail right there. And these things are just packed. So you can tell I'm hunting some pretty good coverage areas. Bit of an open space right here that's nearby a river source. So yeah.
There's a cow and a cat. All right, guys. Hopefully. That's so cool. I got a pack of wolves to start howling about 35 minutes ago. I've been trying my best to find this pack. They haven't been hitting the wolf bait. They've been gone for 10 days. There was some sign last night. They hit the bait, but they've been gone all day. They're on another side of the swamp, but they know where this bait is, so I'm going to load it up tomorrow. Probably set out overnight. I'll probably have a blast howling with the wolves. Let's see if we get them hauled back.
Just come around the corner. The moose are still on the road. I'm pretty far back from them. They've gone about 1.5 kilometers. They don't want to get off the road. I'm wondering if there's wolves in the areas. I know I've had a wolf at my bait site already this morning, but they've gone by 2-3 skidoo trails and now they're just watching me. So it makes me think that there's wolves in that back part. I haven't seen any blood on the road. There's a lot of urine, but these guys are just doing their thing.
Alright, so I'm out of the truck now. I'm trying to get to my skidoo trail and moose are still on the road. So here's a problem. These moose tracks go right down my skidoo trail to my wolf shack. So I got a wolf back there and I got a cow and a calf. I know she doesn't want to be anywhere around me. I just hope I don't have to bounce her towards the wolf. I gotta really take my time in here this morning.
So here's a curveball. Those moose have now gone all the way down my skidoo trail and they're about 200 yards from my wolf shack. I got wolves in the area. She's sticking pretty tight to that calf. She's standing her ground, so I'm thinking they're tired. Or they know that there's a wolf up ahead. So she may feel pressured and threatened. So she's gone about 2 kilometers in hiking with the young one. I don't want to pressure them anymore. And hey, if this ruins my wolf season, then so be it. It's the last day of hunting today. But I can't really do much besides go with these guys. I don't want to pressure them. Yeah, if they go up over that hill, that'd probably help me out a little bit more. There they go.
Alright guys, it's around 10 after 8. I'm definitely late to the wolf blind. There's the cow, right in the middle of the frame, right next to that big pine tree. She's been there for about 30 minutes. I heard some crashing in behind, so I think the calf is tired and taking a break. And she's just staying watch. She knows there's wolves in the area. There's some fresh wolves lying in the snow on the skidoo trail too. So I'm pretty sure she thinks I'm either a wolf or another threat. She's calling for her calf, so I don't want to bother her. I can see her feeding on some takeoverfish just behind that tree. You can see her snapping. Sometimes these things happen, but hey, it could be a lot worse. And if I don't get a wolf season, this still makes a really good ending to it. At least she's comfortable enough to feed. Okay, so what I'm thinking is they've just gone up the trail a little bit. If they could jump into the woods behind me and I could get up the trail, maybe I could push them back further into the woods and then they could circle and hit the trail behind me and walk back out. I can't tell if she's calling out for a second calf. I think she's just complaining because the snow's pretty deep. But they were just feeding for about 35, 45 minutes, so they're pressured enough. I don't want to bother them, but I gotta get to my blind. So this is where she was standing. There is some blood. Those look like ticks. Yep, you can see the mites. That's why they... So just to give you an idea how deep the snow was, you saw that moose. That's where she came and hit the trail. She was up to her belly in snow right there. It looks like she's bleeding a little on her side. Nothing significant, but I think it's from those ticks that I showed you earlier. I'm gonna take my time up here because these things aren't stupid. Okay, I'm about 150 yards from my shack. Looks like they went right up to it. Okay guys, here's the problem. There's the cow and the calf. There's my hunting blind. I've taken my time to get up here, and now these guys are just sitting tight. I don't want anything to do with them. I'm keeping my eyes out for any wolves though. Alright guys, so right now I'm set up behind this birch tree. My shack's right there, and the skidoo trail's on the other side, so the skidoo trail's maybe 30 feet from me. And the moose is still hanging out by the wolf bait. She knows I'm here for sure. I just want her to come on by. She doesn't want to go further back there. I think she smells the wolves. Alright guys, it's around 11 o'clock. I've been hanging around with these moose for 2 hours. The calf's been in and out of the tree line the entire time. He's been on his feet. He's having breakfast. He's pretty adventurous, so hopefully he doesn't wrap around the tree line to come visit me. That could get a little dicey. Mom's caught up a few times, repositioned herself. She's keeping a close eye on the young one. Looks like she's bringing up this morning's breakfast to give it another chew before letting it pass on through. So, based on where I'm standing right now, I got a good tree to brace on in the event that I see any wolves or coyotes. But right now, I have to admit there hasn't been quite a moment like this before where I've been able to really observe these moose, get a chance to watch them for such an extended period of time in not just the wilderness but in winter as well. It's kind of surreal to see a moose bed down next to a wolf bait pile, and I didn't pressure her, but I don't think by any means really coming on in. She jumped on the road in front of the truck. I backed off and pretty much took myself an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to my wolf shack. And yeah, it's kind of surprising. I don't think she wants to go into the bush whatsoever just because the snow's really deep, and I don't blame her. So I'm kind of hoping she walks just right by me on the way out and we don't have any problems. And she's bedded back down. I think I might be the first person to record a sleeping moose on a wolf bait. She's got her head down, her eyelids are closed, the little guy's up in the back corner, hanging out and having a snack, but it's been a pretty quiet day besides this. She's being. You can't say she's not comfortable out here. Alright guys, it's around 7 o'clock. I have roughly an hour and 15 minutes left of legal shooting light. But what I'm thinking is packing my gear up and hiking on out of here. I've been with the moose for 12 hours. They're still here. The cow's about 90 yards away from me, bedded down. And the calf's not too far away from her as well. I could still see them. They've had a good day feeding, bedding down in the sun, and I've had a pretty good time watching them, to be honest. This made my wolf hunt. Even though I probably likely won't get a wolf, hey, I could still live with myself. This season's had a lot of ups and downs. I've missed a wolf. I've had a chance to howl them in, staying in the shack overnight. It's been pretty solid. I don't know many people who are doing this type of stuff, and I'm happy to bring you guys along for this experience. One thing that I'm worried about is the longer I stay here, the likelihood of me running into wolves closer to dark is going to go higher. So if I'm not going to be taking a wolf this year, I might as well help out these moose. I've been mindful not to bump them further into the woods. On the other side of the tree line, there's a bog, and I think around there, maybe on the other side of the bog, that's where the wolf den is. So every night that I've been out here, I've been able to howl them in and get some pretty close encounters with them. So what I'm hoping is that if I get my gear, I pack out, go back to the road, walk the Skidoo Trail, then just maybe the moose will follow me too. They know I'm still in the area. I've been able to send out a few cow calls and rustle some branches, and they're comfortable with me here. So I've kept a pretty good eye for the wolves and the coyotes today. And what I'm thinking is I chalk this up as a successful season, even though I'm not going home with any fur. It's coming up on March 31st. Tomorrow's supposed to rain, so I won't be out here. and my tags are still valid for the rest of 2026. So I may jump over to Manitoulin Island. They have a year-round season, or I may jump over to Pine River, Iron Bridge region and give it a shot. We'll see. This year has been full of ups and downs. We had a lot of really hard conditions to hunt, a lot of snowfall, unexpected snowfall, like 2 feet in the last 2 weeks. And we've had some really cold temperatures. We've had a lot of wolf action this year. I didn't expect this at all this year. And even though I may be going home empty-handed, I'm going home with a whole bunch of memories. So, wow. Moments like this are just surreal. I'm just so incredibly lucky to still be here, to still do the things I love, and enjoy moments like this. This season's been really tough, not just physically, but mentally. I'm definitely in a new season of life right now, and I think there's no better way to wrap up this season than doing it just like this. So, I'll show you guys the moves a few more times before I take off, and then I'll get my gear and icon out of here. But we'll do a wrap up later on. I'll come get my gear later on this week after it warms up, and we'll bring you guys along for that too. Alright guys, and there she is. They're both hanging out. Oh, she stood up. There she is. And I'm leaving her be. Oh. Oh. I'm getting out of here.
Alright guys, here's that head of the trail that I hunted. We got some tracks coming out. Good show. You guys have snow over the last 24 hours, but hey, at least she came out. That's great. Right back to the truck. Perfect. All right, guys, there's my 2026 winter wolf hunt. I'm coming home with 2 unfilled tags and no fur, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. I'm proud to say that I'm ending the season on a high note, even though I didn't get anything. I'm ending the season as a better hunter than what I started the season as. I'm also coming home with a bunch of memories, and it's hard to complain with that. Hey, yeah, I wish I would have came home with a wolf or a coyote, but I'm not losing any sleep over it. In fact, just west of Sudbury, where I'm based right now, there's a spot called Manitoulin Island, and they have a year-round season that's open to help people manage the predators out there as well, because there's a big deer population out there. There's quite a bit of private land, and there's a lot of farms, so people have livestock. And these predators absolutely annihilate the deer in periods of high snowfall, but then also the livestock on a yearly basis. So who knows, maybe I jump out there and help those people manage their local predators too, and I could fill my tags. So I'm not too worried about it. We also have spring rolling around the corner. It's actually April right now, and we still have a bunch of snow here in this part of Ontario. Spring bear hunt is just about to kick off in May, but in order to get that bait pile going on, I gotta be in the bush, and it may be pretty hard without a snowmobile or even an ATV able to get into some of these sites. Last year was my first spring bear hunt. I passed up a couple bears, and I didn't have bears really start coming on in until the last week of May, even by kicking off my bait pile earlier in the month. So I may pass up spring bear, I may kick off a spring bear bait, but I don't know if I'll actually hunt it unless I get some really unique bears and target them for that season. If not, I'll probably push it into the fall. I'll do my fall bear harvest again and bring you guys along for that adventure. Who knows? Maybe I switch things out. Maybe I go from rifle to archery. Who knows? But I'm trying to do this as ethically and easy as I can, not just for myself, but for the animals that I'm hunting as well. And I hope you guys appreciate that type of stuff. With the end of this season comes the month of April. Today's actually April 9th, and we're in Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. And it may seem like a kind of a weird subject to introduce into this type of video, but a lot of people who are watching this video may not know that I'm a testicular cancer patient. I was diagnosed with testicular cancer back in 2023 and then later had a relapse in 2024. So I've had it twice. And, I have to just encourage you guys to start checking. It could totally change your life. Trust me, I'm down 60 pounds from the top. I lost the hair in my head. It grows back way differently now. And that's just the way it is. I'm thankful to still be able to be alive, but then also to get outdoors and have these experiences that I'm having now. This channel probably wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for this type of stuff. I started vlogging my own personal memoir for my family after chemotherapy. We had some really hard times. I started consuming a bunch of outdoor content during chemotherapy in my hospital days when I was very alone, isolated, I couldn't see anyone, and I was just determined to get outdoors once I was back on my feet, and that's what I did. I wanted to leave some memories, some videos for my friends and family to remember me by in case I lost my battle. But since then, I've been fighting pretty hard. I'm sure you guys can appreciate that type of stuff. And I'm proud to say that we've just rolled over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 10,000 followers on Facebook. So if you're one of those people who have followed along and subscribed, I really appreciate it, guys. It helps me continue to help other people as well. Testicular cancer is fairly common. It hits 1 out of 300 people here in North America. And you'd be surprised how easily it can be cured. But unfortunately, a lot of people put it off until it's too late. The average guy waits 5.5 months after finding something wrong downstairs before seeking help. I didn't wait 5.5 hours and my life's been flipped upside down. It's been 2.5, 3 years almost since I've been back to work, and I'm itching to get back just to get back to a normal life before cancer. But in the meantime, I still try to make the most for what I can. I still try to remain as positive as I can, and I still try to pay it forward to strangers because, to be honest, I wouldn't be here without the help of strangers as well. And I'm not just talking about the doctors and the nurses. I'm talking about the volunteers. Going through chemo, I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people who I actually bounce into the community on my day-to-day sometimes. I don't know their names, but then I make sure to go ahead and find out more about their story and find out why they do what they do. And thank them for helping me to get to where I am today. Some of these people, they've either been cancer patients or they actually have lost people to cancer. And it's heartbreaking to hear that type of stuff. But it's unique to see how these people bounce back after hard times. And I've used that as a motivator, not just to help myself, but to help people with other challenges, whether it's cancer related or not. And I hope you guys appreciate that type of stuff when it comes down to consuming my content. I went to the outdoors to heal my body, my mind, and my soul after all. And I thought I would make a memory for my family members and my friends at the same time. And lo and behold, it's kind of grown into a bigger channel, a different type of platform. And I'm happy to share some of these experiences with you because I get a chance to learn from you as some of you learn from me. And by all means, I am no expert hunter. This is my second wolf season. I started wolf hunting last year because I couldn't tie a fishing line because of my neuropathy. I could sit in a heated blind, but when things get pretty cold, I slow down quite a bit and I lose dexterity in my hands, my feet, and it's a real bummer. And I hope you guys don't have to go through some of these challenges that I have to post chemo. If something goes wrong, maybe you guys get checked out earlier. You could avoid this whole situation in whole, which would be great. So If you're interested in finding out more stuff about men's health or testicular cancer specifically, check out the website Movember. I'll put the link down below in the show notes. I wouldn't be here probably without that website. And ironically, I started growing mustaches for raising men's health awareness in 2010. I started raising funds back in 2015 independently, but I was donating to the cause prior to then as well. Little to find out, I'm one of those 300 guys who gets testicular cancer. I lived a healthy life. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I was doing most of everything fairly healthy, and I had a solid history of blood work. But unfortunately, life threw a curveball, and I just had to learn to adapt and take it on the chin. So, hey, that's just the way it goes. And I think that's maybe one of the challenges that I've been possibly maybe destined to kind of face in order to keep on keeping on, paying it forward, and making the most for what I can in life these days. It's funny how things come full circle, but you'd be surprised how just changing your perspective on some of the things that you're facing right now can really reflect mega changes in your day-to-day life. And I hope you guys enjoy that type of stuff and can practice it yourself. I'm a big advocate for men's mental health as well. I still see a psychologist on a monthly basis and making sure that I'm navigating not just my own mental health when it comes down to my own personal self, but also survivorship, surviving as a cancer patient. Because a lot of people don't know that I won't be in remission. I'm essentially in active surveillance. I was diagnosed back in 23 with that relapse in 24, but then since then, I have to go 8 years after my last relapse in order to be cancer-free, not the typical 5 years. And a lot of people don't want to wear that. So I'll be well into my 40s by the time I'm cancer-free. And I'm looking forward to that day, but hey, I'm still trying to live life as if I am cancer-free. With that said, we've just had a recent round of scans of blood work. Blood work looks fantastic, but we're starting to get some stuff possibly showing up in my lungs. So possibly could be inflammation, could be a bit of an infection. We're not quite sure, but we're going to increase the frequency of my scan. So I'm going to get scanned in 4 months, and we're going to be checking out my spine still just to see if we have any odd things happening down there. So essentially my bone marrow, my spine has changed colors, and we don't think it's related towards anemia. It could be a side effect of my chemotherapy. We don't know, but that's just some of the stuff that I have to deal with that I'm happy to share with you guys, because a lot of people think it's just sunshine and rainbows over here and there's no long-term complications. There's the physical challenges, but don't be fooled. These things play a toll in your mind as well, especially when you're sitting in a wolf blind with no cell service for days on end. This year I spent, I think, 5 trips in the woods overnight, and I think my longest sit was pushing 60 hours. And I've had a blast out there, but don't be fooled. When you're waiting on that wolf, your mind wanders quite a bit. And as much as I like to ground myself in the outdoors, when you're pushing some extreme timelines like I have this season, you go through a whole bunch of learning experiences that are related not just towards the outdoors, but yourself. So I'm proud to make it through this wolf season, and I'm happy to see what the rest of 2026 has. I'm not sure if I'm going to get an opportunity to do spring bear hunt, but we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. We have a lot of snow here still just to get things cracking, and I'm excited to see what the rest of this year has. But if you guys really appreciate this type of content, if you could do me a favor, smash that like button. If you haven't followed me on the other social media platforms, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and even X. We'll put the links down below in the show notes. On there, you'll find a lot more day-to-day content. You'll find posts, you'll find stories, you'll find a lot of short content of what I actively got going on. And I even do live streams. So if you guys want to jump on there and connect with me, share some of your own stories or ask some questions, find out how I'm doing, I'm all game for that as well. In fact, on May 3rd, I'll be in North Bay, Ontario at the North Bay Fishing and Outdoors Show. And there I'll be doing a spiel just before the main keynote. And I'll actually be having a booth all day long from 9 to 4. So if you're in the area, by all means, stop on by. It'd be fantastic to connect with you, hear your story, and see how I can help you guys not just possibly become better outdoorsmen, but become better people and taking better care of your health. Because without your health, I found out you really have nothing. And you want to make sure that you can still get into the outdoors and enjoy these experiences.